Hey, look over there. A wild Xbox fanboy has appeared. I will defend Microsoft with my life. I would sacrifice myself to destroy Sony. It's the duty of all soldiers to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. This is what we call a brand loyal gamer. What are brand loyal gamers exactly? Well, I don't really have a formal definition, but to put it simply, it's someone who religiously follows a multi-million-dollar video game company and refuses to buy products from other companies. You see this on full display with things like PlayStation versus Xbox or Logitech versus Razer. People will make these companies half of their personality, and the other half of their personality will be used up on hating the other company. Now, it's important to establish that it's completely fine and normal to have preferences when it comes to certain brands, but it's also important to establish that none of these multi-million-dollar companies care about you. You are nothing but a consumer to them, yet you're still out here simping for these companies, defending them no matter what they do. So in this rare commentary style video, I'm going to be talking about why I think that's a dumb mentality to live by. Now, like I said, I don't do these types of videos often, but let me know in the comments below if you want to see me talk about more things like this. But with that out of the way, let's begin. So kind of the first point that I want to make about these types of gamers is the fact that by limiting yourself to one system or one brand, you're missing out on so many amazing experiences. For example, you're an Xbox player that never wants to be seen holding a DualSense controller, so you'll never experience a game like God of War Ragnarok or Horizon Forbidden West. To be fair, I haven't played those games, but that's not because I'm a brand loyal gamer, it's because I can't afford the console. Or maybe you're a Sega fan who firmly believes that Sega does what Nintendo don't, so you'll never experience how magical it is to play through a Zelda game. When you suck these companies off for no reason, all it does is limit what games you can play, because the reality is, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo all have their own incredible video games. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I mostly talk about Nintendo on this channel, with a few exceptions like Hollow Knight, but the truth is, my favorite video game of all time isn't even on a Nintendo console. If I only played Nintendo consoles in order to be loyal to the company, I would have never played my favorite video game of all time. And this could be the case for you as well. There might be a game on a different console that you would love to death, but you can't get past your own pride, and thus you are limiting yourself from playing games you would enjoy for absolutely no reason. Now let's backtrack for a moment. There are a lot of gamers out there that only play on one console, not because they feel loyal to the brand that made it, but because they only need one to play the games they like. This isn't the same as someone who worships their console's brand. It's just someone who wants to play all their games on the same device. Another thing I want to bring up that I think is relevant is there are so many more important things to pick a side on, so why do you care so much about one video game console over the other? When you go online to make fun of people for playing certain consoles or argue with people about why this brand is better than that, you are completely wasting your time and making yourself look like a child. Just think about it for a moment. You are a grown adult sitting on the internet arguing about video game consoles. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's a video game. I am a gamer for life, and even I can still recognize that video games are not important. At least not important enough to idolize. This is entertainment we are talking about. And the fact that people are on the internet every day complaining about Sony or Microsoft despite both companies making extremely similar products just completely baffles me. These people seriously need to get their priorities straight. So I kind of touched briefly on this a minute ago, but once again I have to point out that all three console brands, that being PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, are all quality consoles, each having their own great games. And when talking about the PlayStation and Xbox rivalry, both consoles are very similar. Sure, they might have different operating systems and different controllers, but it goes without saying that these two consoles are pretty similar. It's also dumb to try and say, oh, this console's more powerful than that one, because if we really wanted to argue about what's the most powerful, the answer would obviously be PC. When consoles like PlayStation and Xbox are so similar, there's no reason to argue over which one is better. I grew up with the PlayStation 2, 3, and 4, but if I had to make a choice on whether to buy the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, I would probably go with the Series X because of the backwards compatibility it has. But then again, I'd be just as happy with the PlayStation 5 because they're both great products. The brand that makes them means nothing to me. I have no emotional connection to them at all, and you probably shouldn't either. Having memories playing certain consoles is great. I have a ton of memories playing games on my PlayStation 3, but that doesn't mean you have to turn Sony into a false god. Because like I keep saying, these companies don't care about you. The only reason they know you exist is because you give them your money. Seriously, they're not your best friend, they just make the games you like to play, and that's that. And I think that's just about everything there is to say. I wanted this video to be a little bit longer, but I'm not going to stretch this video any longer if I have nothing of value to add, because I respect your time. So let me know what you think about this video. I'll hand the discussion over to you guys. That's it for today's video, and as always, have a good rest of your day.